preparing for the school year with the pharmacy students. And I'll be teaching them, so don't have the time right now. Sadly.
Looks like Alec has mold to at least 5 here.
On the play.
On the play
He's got 6. He's got 6.
Turn 1 Young Wolf, which is basically the green Doom Traveler in this deck, as it applies a fair amount of synergy with Morbid triggers and sack outlets. So let's talk a little bit about this round 3 matchup. Both of these, well, Alec is, this is the pair down. Alec is 2-0, and Zach is 1-0-1.
He had the draw.
He drew in the first round with Drew's Grixis deck that went on forever. As we've talked about before, Zach, one of our beloved, mad scientist, but also very deliberate player. He does go long. So Alec's deck is a Junk Aristocrats list. It is very stock. It is very standard. He's been playing it for a long time and plays it well. His opponent, Zach Viglianco, is playing a homebrew deck that is basically mono black trading post
with a
little bit of red for things like Dreadbore and for there's another red card that he plays. Splashing the red gives him the answers to some cards that the mono black deck couldn't beat. At some point I've inadvertently changed Alec life totals to 218. This one might be over relatively quickly, as this is a very nutty mull to 6 here from Alec, as he has both
he curved out well.
Morbid. Well, he has Morbid online with a turn 3 Demon created off his first deck High Priest. Zach's going to look for a Mutilate, but a Mutilate's not going to be good enough here. Vampire Nighthawk, barring a Tragic Slip, that's at least going to trade with 1 Demon token, I imagine. But Zach's deck is, for all intents and purposes, the mono-black control deck.
Right, with a little bit added.
Yeah. Dreadbore is very much a card that he wants to...
He gives him an answer to those Planeswalkers in black.
Yeah.
So we don't have X-Mage, right?
No, I think about that card all the time, and about how good so many decks would be if they had Hexmage. I guess Planeswalkers aren't as, apparent in this current metagame as they have been in... Yeah. There's no Gideons and there's no Jaces.
We don't have Super Friends right
now. That's Haunted Plate Mail, which is like the Batterskull of this format, I guess. If you don't control another creature, you can activate it and turn it into a 4/4.
Okay.
It's a card that, much like Obsidian, I'm not comparing it to Obsidian, but it does require instant speed removal. Yeah, that was. It's a tough. What did he play? A Blood Artist or?
I didn't see one. Poor track does count, still 0.
Corey in the chat talking about a tweet. I just did post the tweet for the round 3 pairing, so you can feel free to retweet that one. Someone else asking what the program I use is for the overlay. I'm using XSplit to do the broadcasting, and then the overlays are just manual images that I've created through my limited knowledge of both computers and art. Oh, man. I'm very tired. Again, like I said, we'll be getting up at 6 in the morning. That's a lie. Well, let me getting up at 6 in the morning. I will be on the road at 6 in the morning.
You'll be up at 5:30.
Probably. I will probably dream of a scenario and start with an alarm clock at 5, and then we'll actually emerge from my bear-like slumber. But it's all for fun. Like I said, I've mentioned it multiple times today. I will continue to mention it, as we do have a PTQ tomorrow for Pro Tour Theros in Columbus, Ohio. So if you're in the area and don't have anything going on tomorrow, have $25 and win your chance, or possibly win.
Chance to go to the invitation.
Go to Dublin, Ireland for Pro Tour Theros later this year. It's a standard tournament at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. Run by Comic Town. They run great events. There will be 4 vendors there as well. I'll be working at the AffinityForCards.com booth, so make sure to come over and say hello. There will also be representatives from Empire Games. Altered Reality will be there. And then Matt Kranstuber will be running his booth as well. I love going to Comic Town PTQs because like there's always a good vendor show turnout, and as we all know, I go to these things to sell cards anyway. I don't play Magic. I don't play Magic. But then you get to do that. There's always a good, like I know a lot of people in Columbus area, and it's conveniently located right next to North Market.
Oh, North Market's amazing. That's when
it's a great good place to eat.
When you go to Origins, that's where you go to eat.
Yes, exactly. Go over there and get something very good to eat.
For pretty cheap,
yes,
cheap.
and I also like to go to, there's a bar right across the street from the convention center on that same side called Barley's. It's like a bar and restaurant, actually. And
yeah, you're right.
They have pierogies.
They're good.
They're very good. That's where I'll be tomorrow night. So even if you can't make the if you can't make the PTQ, join us at about 9 o'clock for pierogies at Barley's. As myself and Nick Beckvar will be there, swinging some sweet deals on cardboard you know you want. All right, it's very cold in here, isn't it?
It's kind of chilly, yeah.
It gets colder in here as the night goes on, probably because the sun goes down.
And they keep the air conditioner full blast.
They don't stop doing that. Although, let's be honest, we know what could happen in the alternative. You don't want the no conditioning in the. I have a friend of mine. I used to work overseas, and a friend of mine, when I worked in Malaysia, he was from the UK, and he subsequently went back and lived in the UK, and he had put something on Facebook about how it was like 30 degrees, which is Celsius.
They're Celsius. That's like 90.
Yes, very hot. And then I made some kind of. I wasn't really a jab at him. It was just kind of like a comment, and he basically was like, "Yeah, it's really tough for us that don't have air conditioning." And I never thought that in a place like that you wouldn't have air conditioning. Also, my wife's family's from Detroit, and a lot of homes up there don't have air conditioning, or they have a window air conditioner. They don't have central air because it's just not as a necessity.
It's usually a keyword.
They all have central heat, I'll tell you that, right?
Right, yes, for the winter. But I didn't think about that.
And this has been Geography Lessons with Zach and Chris. Tune in next week when we discuss deciduous versus coniferous forests. So Zach on the play here starts off with a Blood Crypt, followed by a Blood Crypt, which is important because he has his red splash and he's activating his mutilates. That's the one downside with playing the Dragon Skull Summit, which you need to play in order to get an effective red count, but does make your mutilates a little bit worse. So Alec going to shock himself. For Valraz, going to go ahead and serve in with his Cartel Aristocrat, making it 18 apiece.
What's your thought on that craziness being reprinted?
What was that?
Damnation.
I don't know.
Because it's done nothing but skyrocket lately.
I thought they'll reprint it at some point. I was actually surprised it wasn't in Modern Masters. Yeah. They'll reprint it at some point because it's not like it's some kind of. It's an evergreen card. I know it's color shifted, but
right, but it still fits.
Yeah.
It probably should have been in black to begin with.
I actually kind of thought it might show up in Theros.
Maybe second set.
Considering it is a god-themed card.
It may be second set.
You may be asking yourself, Zach, what was the card that the other Zach just played? Well, that's, I believe, Homicidal Seclusion, which is going to get met by a Golgari Charm.
Uh-oh.
So the way that Zach's deck wins is it plays a lot of sleeper cards like that. The Haunted Plate Mail, the Demonic Rising.
That's better than you really think?
Well, it works well in his deck exclusively because he doesn't have creature base, and then just makes one effective creature and gets in with a lot of damage, yeah. Well, and it gives Homicidal Seclusion, if you only control one creature, gives your creature +3/+1 and lifelink.
Oh, so you can sustain against them.
Yes. Yeah, it's very important in this matchup. And Alec bringing in the Golgari Charm. And there is a Mutilate. Mutilate does get around the regeneration and protection abilities of both the Valraz and the Aristocrat. So 4 mana for Garrick. No, a Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. So this is going to be an interesting card to see if...
it sticks.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting...
It doesn't get dreadful.
Yeah. Interestingly, Zach is also playing Mutavault, it looks like. So he does have 2 attackers here. He can animate and attack into the Sorin. That won't kill it. It will just drop it down to 2 loyalty and will take out that token. But he's not as dead to it as a lot of control decks are.
Just
exclusively to spells, you know.
Non-match related, I was kind of really sad that Innistrad didn't get a novel. I know,
A book series?
Late on the bandwagon, but yeah.
Well, having seen some of the quality of the Magic
They
fiction,
went downhill a lot. Okay, a lot.
That's one thing we do a lot on the stream is talk crap about Magic writing because it's
I've
pretty
watched several
atrocious.
years. Now I did like the
It
Saga.
seemed like it would have been a good set because the trope lends itself pretty well to. I mean, how many stinking Anne Rice novels have there been? You know what I mean? Vampires, but I mean that you could write a very good werewolf and vampire.
I would like to have seen one.
There is a question in the chat as we see Zach lining up the exact attack I talked about earlier. Both at Sorn. Tragic Slip is going to take out the Key Rune, and he's going to jump. So pretty effective Tragic Slip there. Here's a question in the chat about whether or not that playmat is a two-person playmat. It is, and though you can't see it because of the awkward placement of the match slip. That is brought to us by inkedplaymats.com. If you're interested in getting your own custom double playmat, your own custom regular playmat, or any other playmat with art on it, head over to their website at inkedplaymats.com. Check it out. I can tell you from personal experience that they are about the easiest group of folks to work with. Very good customer service over there. Meanwhile, Sin Collector and Valros make an appearance. Zach casts his Vampire Nighthawk. He's playing with his hand face up due to the Sin Collector. He's being a nice guy. Unfortunately, he's playing with it just slightly off camera, so I can't see exactly what's going on. I can't imagine this is a matchup that Zach is excited to be playing against. Because while his deck does very well against, for example, the Gruul aggro decks or the other creature-based decks, it's going to struggle against a deck where you have to kill everything twice. Yeah. And is also applying pressure.
He has removal, doesn't have that much removal.
Yes. There's also an awkward point here where he might not even be able to block with his Vampire Nighthawk because of Gavity Township activations. And also, he has to keep that Nighthawk around, so a Tragic Slip basically wins this game, because that Sorn is going to go ultimate next turn, and the Nighthawk is the only thing he has that's keeping him honest. So we're going to see a Township activation here. Well, I think we're going to. I think if I'm Zach, I would have blocked both of the tokens. So he's going to sack to regenerate the Valros, removing it from combat.
So he won't gain the life.
Then he's going to scavenge, I think.
Onto the regenerated guy? Wait, what happened?
When you regenerate the, I think the way the regeneration works is if you regenerate it, it removes it from combat, but only when it dies, I believe. I don't think the regeneration
shield on.
The shield doesn't
trigger.
Doesn't trigger it, yeah.
Okay.
So Zach up against it here. He's got one card off screen that I can't see. He's got one card that he drew that we can't see. He's staring down a Sorin that more than likely is going to kill half of his lands here. I'm not sure if that's even the way to go at this point. I think you'd probably just tick him up and do it next turn. In response, he's going to Victim of Night the Valros, which important timing so that way he cannot sack the token to it. So he's at least going to fog 2 damage from the Sin Collector being sacrificed. We're going to scavenge on the Valros with the Cartel Aristocrat. We're going to serve in for 5.
Probably go ultimate on the Planeswalker.
Well, next turn he is for sure.
Yeah.
And we're going to activate the Township.
It just adds a +1/+1 counter, correct?
It does, to every creature you control. The man plays a volatile ring. I give him so much grief because he loves this card. I mean, for those of you who have never watched the stream before, everyone has a Zach Viglianco at their shop. Zach Viglianco is a bright man. He knows what he's doing. He could play whatever deck he wants to, but he has more fun playing Magic by building the decks that he wants to build.
You know, he reminds me. I mean, Zach is he's very similar to Ian Straight.
Ian Straggy is another local who will only play his decks. Zach likes this mono-black Trading Post archetype, and he likes playing with a card like Volatile Rig, which Volatile Rig's not the kind of card you expect to see in the winning list of a Pro Tour. Mm-hmm. But Volatile Rig is the card that kind of does interact well with Trading Post. Actually, a deck like Joseph Deal's Mono Red Blitz deck, which we've seen have tremendous success over the last month, has a very tough time beating that as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that works. So Alec choosing not to go ultimate. See, the problem is if he ultimates now with the Volatile Rig on board, he can, if he wins the flip on the rig, it will kill, wipe his board out.
Which is just funny.
Oh, I'm treating the Sorin ultimate like it was Liliana for some reason. It doesn't kill land. It doesn't kill half your permanents. It just kills three target other planeswalkers or creatures, and then you get them back. So it's not nearly as good as I thought it was. Because I am, as I reiterate each and every week, a moron.
He knows a lot about Magic.
It smells like a Mutilate coming.
There's a lot of swamps on that side of the board.
There's a Vampire Nighthawk. Gavini's going to activate, pump up his team.
Looking through some of the cards, there's a lot of like to try to build a deck around. Commander style. Sword and the Nighthawk.
We're going to scavenge. We're going to make another guy. No, we're going to make an emblem here, and I think this might be it. He's going to take 3, 7, 8, 9 as it is. He has a Gavini activation up.
I don't see a way around it.
And that's going to be enough. So unfortunate in the sense that we didn't get to see Zach's deck do anything that we would have enjoyed seeing it do, like get his Trading Post engine online. But again, the Aristocrats deck is very difficult for Zach's deck to interact with because of, Zach's deck is a lot more one-for-one, and Alec's deck is the ultimate not one-for-one deck. So there's 25 minutes left in the round. I'm going to step outside, see if we can find a... Yeah, they're still talking in the chat about the Valros, whether he could attack after the regen. He'd already declared him as an attacker, and then...
The regen shield doesn't tap him. Like, putting a regen shield on a creature doesn't tap it unless it's changed.
Well, it was it was the turn after that when he he did the Victim of the Night.
We'll grab somebody else for the stream. So did you do that round? Huh?
Burners and did 3 thermal Hellkites. Didn't come back from that.
You can't. Oh, poor old Raging Goblin.
Well, I didn't think it was. I was thinking, no, yes. Well, yeah. Really want to one of the last sets that I don't think ever get away. Next one. That makes these
looks like you can see what it originated as is a lumberjack, and then it turns into clear cutter. It's a lumberjack. Same ability.
One mana for 1/1. 4 mana for 3/3. Yeah.
I had a guy, when I first started playing, he had a Lucas shot back home, and Travis has actually played a few games here, Travis Tomlin.
Yeah.
And one of the buddies that came with him, his name was Russ, and he had a deck based around the lumberjack. And because the longest time it was like, he was around the lumberjacks with a little bit of green splashed in the sack off for the forest. And it was right after the very first Ravnica blocks. He got the lands in the forest. And he was really loving sacking them off to get ball lightning and blistering fire pads. And then they finally printed the green ball lightning. It's called triple green. That was just made for that deck of just play a forest, make it into a 6/1 and smash face with it.
Have you heard of Goblin Snowman?
Does he block or?
Yeah, like he can
does damage and then he technically flies into him and dies.
If you tap it to deal 1 damage to a creature blocked, and the art is just beautiful though. It's just a snowman with goblins. Leave nothing to the imagination.
But I shouldn't be thinking of it like that. You're gonna win every time.
Groundbreaker. That's the green one.
I've just seen it. That's a fun match. It's a fun match. My Mortal 4 was not fun. Do you want to try that? I do want to try it out really hard.
I don't think we're getting another match.
That happens.
The Wright brothers are playing each other.
They don't want to play on stream.
Oh, they're in game 3 already.
No, I was just telling him, I was looking through and I saw Orcish Lumberjack. We had a guy back home that was playing with it, when it first came out. Or not when it first came out, right around the time that the first Ravnica block hit. And
Well,
there's an outlet right there.
there's old Cameron. Viewing from Australia.
But he loved playing the Lumberjack and turning forests into ball lightnings. And
Orcish Lumberjack.
Yeah, ball lightnings and blistering fire cats.
When I started playing Magic, it was 1994. I had 2 decks. I had a blue-white Millstone deck that was, for all intents and purposes, very competitive. It was a real deck. And then I had a green-red Jocko Hops deck, which would, it would play turn 1 Orcish Lumberjack, turn 2 play Forest or something.
Turn 3 Jocko Hops.
Well, no. The idea was to play a turn 2 Urnamjin, if at all possible, off of either Orcish Lumberjack or Tinderwall. And then later in the game to float 10 mana, cast Jocko Hops, followed by an Urnamjin. Because when I was 14 years old and playing Magic in Standard, tapping 4 mana and paying for an Urnamjin was the best thing you could do. That's back when Birds of Paradise cost $20.
Yeah.
Savannah Lions cost $20.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are up against it here in terms of. Yeah, we've still got several matches going on, but they're all deep into the games they're currently playing. A lot of people are already done. We do have a lot of time left in the round, but it looks like this round might be relatively over relatively quickly. There aren't really too. Jonathan's playing control deck, Joe's playing control deck, and you're but you're done, and they're about to be done. So I think we'll be over pretty quickly here. So let's take a little look through the standings. At table 1, it's Joe Lewis playing American Control. We saw him in round 1. He's playing Chad Watson, who's playing Selesnya Tokens. Looks like they're going to game 3. Troy King just won. He's 3-0 with Wolf Run Bant. Adam Vickers drops to 2-1. Gruel Aggro. Alec Myers is our other undefeated player with Junk Aristocrats, knocking off Zach, which we just saw. Drew,
Lost.
you lost.
Yeah. Burning Earth.
Burning Earth will do. What are your outs to Burning Earth? Cast Nicole Bowles, blow it up.
That or just skip it up.
Just immediately give up?
Well, wasn't this burner? There was burner followed by 3 thermal Hawkeyes. That really didn't even...
Oh, so what you're saying is Thunder Hellkite does a lot of work?
You think, but yeah.
Question in the chat, is there any more matches? There will be more matches when we move into the next round, but unfortunately right now we do not have another match that is at a sufficient stopping point to slot over. So while we have that time, you know what, that would be an excellent time to go ahead and make plans to come here on next Saturday for our Star City Games Invitational Qualifier. Win yourself $250 in cold hard cash. You come to FNM, you have fun, you play standard, you win some packs, you win some store credit. You know what you don't win?
Cash.
A blue envelope that has $250 in cash in it. But you can't do that here. Next Saturday, August 17th at 12 noon, is $25 entry fee standard tournament. That is here at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. You can go to lostlegiongames.com for more information. There you see the prize breakdown, $250 cash, as well as invitation to the next Star City Games Invitational, which, as we talked about multiple times before, is the most lucrative non-Pro Tour event that you could possibly play in. There's a huge overlay for that event, so definitely check that out. Top 8 prizes as listed. You can also earn Open Series points for a top 8 in case you want to scrape together some more points and qualify manually. And then additional prize support. If we can get a certain number of people here, I'm sure they would definitely kick in some more boxes. But we do want to make sure that we get enough people here to make it relevant. Yeah, there will be side events. I'm sure we'll fire off as many drafts or winner boxes or $5 commander card.
Are they completely out of Modern Masters out there?
I don't know if they are. I also don't know if they'll be doing as generous Modern Masters drafts as they were doing at Customer Appreciation Day. Customer Appreciation Day, they're doing $25 Modern Masters drafts. $25 is about, that's about a 25% discount on just buying 3 packs of Modern Masters. But obviously, we would love to see you here. Last time we had one of these in April, we had 52 players, and it was a great event. Lots of people said it was run very smoothly. Everyone had a great time. We hope to have the same kind of turnout this week, or this coming week, and we'll definitely do that if you and your friends decide to come down from your various locations, like Lexington, Cincinnati, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Roanoke, Blacksburg, Morgantown, Parkersburg, anywhere. All those places are reasonable drive, and if you can't physically make it, you can watch us stream it live and compete with Star City's actual standard coverage like we do twice a year at twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic. You're obviously watching there live right now, so make sure to click the follow button, which I believe on the new layout is right there. Click that button. If you're on the old layout, it's up there. Either way, click that follow button, and then they'll tell you when they're going live. So when you see an email that says, hey, that stream that you occasionally watch, they're doing something on Saturday this time.
Are you streaming that?
I am streaming that, yes. I was going to stream the last one, but I had an unfortunate circumstance come up that conflicted with it, so I missed out. But I will not be missing this one, barring some kind of similar unfortunate event in the next week. So.
Although I'll be missing it though.
Well, in that case, we'll have a lot of fun. So make sure, if the $250 Star City Game Invitational, possible side events, and being on the stream are not lucrative enough, rest assured you'll be here, and Drew sure won't be here. So, I mean, that's a win.
It's a win-win.
That's worth, normally everybody has to kick in another $5 in the entry fee just to ensure that he's not going to be here.
Sure, who's not going to be here?
Drew.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Well, tell us how you really feel. So we got 14 minutes left. I don't think we're not going to get another match. We could have some, if I had any other decks together, we could have some impromptu other formats. We used to do impromptu Legacy. That was often
quick.
Well, that was often a hot mess because I would only
knows any of the cards.
Yes,
Except for Zach.
and then
You're playing, not broadcasting.
Well, or I'm broadcasting and people don't know what the cards they're playing.
They just join in and think it's a Legacy.
Yes.
Legacy. FNM Legacy.
I have a modern deck that's half together.
We could sneak into a commander in 14 minutes.
It'd be some fast command.
Can you honestly submit a commander game in 14 minutes?
We can when you play me and just crush me over and over and over again. I think we played, 10 times, and my deck's supposed to vindicate and did it 0 times?
Well, that's also because I'm not going to let you do that if I have a choice in the matter.
No.
I did have an interesting deck put together.
Is that a commander one?
No, this is for Modern. This is...
Gifts I'm giving.
Well, I'm going...
Is it a
Yeah,
new one then?
yeah, this was the deck that Dmitry Budakov ran at the Players' Championship, which for all intents and purposes is a junk deck that splashes blue mana so it can cast Gifts Ungiven so it can reanimate Elish Norn in the unfair way. Or if it has to... Or if it... That's... Well, that's not his... That's not his list. That's just my sideboard card. But the fair way, he can put Raven's Crime, Life from the Loam...
Okay, so really get it there.
Yeah, Life from the Loam and a toolbox of lands, Ghost Quartertech Edges, Treetop Village.
What's your discard outlet?
Liliana of the Veil.
Okay. I was say, because they'll probably just give her to you and just be like, cast her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Well, no, with gifts, the old trick of just picking two and then they both go to the bin.
Right.
So you get Rights and Elish Norn. But it's fun because this is why this deck is fun to me, is because I get to play all of these cards, all in the same deck. These are like, I don't know, some of my favorite cards ever printed, and I get to play them all in the same deck, which is, I don't know if you can see because the broom closet has poor lighting. Birds of Paradise, Night of the Reliquary, Gifts Ungiven, Abrupt Decay, another Night of the Reliquary because I forgot I already had one, and Sun Titan. Sun Titan in the back there. It's a one of that he plays because
He is amazing.
Sun Titan is very good in the deck when you're playing Tarmogoyf and
Does it run Witnesses?
Night of the Reliquaries because there are a lot of Abrupt Decays running around, and Sun Titan says Abrupt this.
That's the first in a new series on Zaxxel's Twitch feed. Guess these vague silhouettes of what magic cards they might be.
Well, what card is this? This is a sideboard that's
The winner gets a place in a Force of Will.
hot mess.
Oh, you better believe they're going to be freezing that image.
Yes. I wish I had it all together. I am sure, this is what's interesting about the way that I've consumed Magic cards over the years, is that it was duress. Someone guessed it correctly. Congratulations to God Eater V.
Force of Wills.
Damn.
Zach Viglianco is a liar.
I'm a lawyer, but that's basically the same thing.
Loaded nothing face as well. This is interesting about the way that I consume Magic cards, what my collection is, and I don't say this in a braggart's fashion, but I have every, not every, but I have,
Most.
except for the very fringe Legacy decks, and I have sold my 4 Thoughtseize because I thought they were going to be reprinted. So I am down to Thoughtseize. But I have almost all the Legacy staples, but I don't have a Blood Crypt. So when I had to put this deck together, there were 10 cards I had to borrow, and they were all shock lands. I borrowed a Gavany Township. I didn't even have a Life from the Loam in the Life from the Loam deck because I kind of thought of doing this at work, and I knew it was at home, and so I just kind of pieced this together, cards out of Commander decks in my trade binder and box and stuff.
I think the last time I played, I've still got the deck together. It's one of the things I did hold on to. Was when I went to Grand Prix Columbus in 2007 when they were giving away the Spirit Mongers. It was the Legacy, and that was the Hulk Flash year.
Yes.
Oh God.
Turn 0 victories.
Turn 1.
Well, yeah, with that cavern thing, Gemstone Caverns or whatever. You could,
turn 0.
yeah, but. Didn't happen to me because I was in the loser bracket after turn 1, but...
you chose to lose to different decks.
Yeah, I was playing mono white stacks. But it's one of the few decks I've still got.
We played in Modern here. A lot of people ask on this, both live on the stream as well as on the YouTube. I get a lot of comments on YouTube about, Zach, do you guys ever play Modern? Are you ever going to have Modern FNM? Are you ever going to do a Modern tournament? Or are you going to stream it? We have Modern every other Wednesday. And it draws what I would call a modest crowd. And it draws a crowd which is not necessarily very versed in the decks that they're playing, and sometimes not Tier 1 decks. The last 2 times we've had them, they've all been real decks, but there still has been a certain inexperience with them. Also, I would really like to do that if I can guarantee we had 8 people and all real decks and all people who could pilot them. But you can't always guarantee that. Also, it's very difficult to allot time to do 2 streams during the week. People kind of underestimate that. But I would love, we're never going to do a Modern FNM.
Well,
because
you're not getting lucratively compensated for this job?
No.
You'll get $1,000 every minute from...
Yes, I get $1,000 every minute from...
The story.
Wait, Drew, can I work for you?
Yes. So God Eater was the guy who was working on the app. Yeah, just shoot me a
What app?
shoot me a message on Twitter or Facebook or here on Twitch or on YouTube, and then I'll get in touch with you. He's working on another Live Total app because everyone always asks about the app that we use out in the feature match area, which is the
You no longer can get it.
you can no longer get it, and that's the number one question I get asked is what is the Live Total app? And so I think he's working on a new one. So it's a very solid app because it's no frills. It's just big ass number on it.
I would say it's idiot proof. The number of times I screwed up trying to use it.
It's idiot proof, but not Viglianco proof.
There you go.
Burn. We did notice this earlier. We have joked multiple times over the course of the stream that when someone is delivered a sick burn, that we do have a first aid kit available. But I can't. I'll post a picture of it, but I can't. There's no way this. If you can't see Night of Reliquary, you're sure as hell not gonna be able to see small print on this. But it does say it has treatments for cuts and scrapes and minor burns.
Oh.
So we're gonna need a much bigger case. We're gonna need a bigger boat if we have all these sick burns delivered.
We're going to need a better ointment.
We're going to need. It does have Cordate in here, which is legit burn.
We need medical team to stand by.
We do need some kind of. This is a completely off context story, but I remember one time I was. It's about 5 years ago. Non sequitur, not out of context. Semantics. Don't get personal.
Hey, we wouldn't want to get ad hominem or anything.
So a friend of my father's, her son was a senior at Cabell Middle High School, where I went to school, and he was playing in a playoff football game, first round playoff against Capital, which is where I went to high school about 30 minutes away, Capital High School here in town. So
in Charleston.
Yeah, in Charleston. So he said, I'm coming up. We went to the game. Sure enough, like in the second quarter, none other than my dad's friend's son gets involved in like a pretty big collision and is down on the field motionless for many minutes. So this is very much touch and go. But what I remember, they ended up carting him off. He missed the rest of the game, but he was fine afterwards. But all I remember is like, this kid is clearly down. Something is clearly wrong. It's not one of those, it's not like a Spanish league soccer match where somebody's like, oh, I'm dead, but now the play's on, so I'm up running again. Like, the kid's clearly hurt. They bring in both trainers from both sides. It's obvious that this is not like nobody pulled a hammy.
Can I make a prediction?
Yeah.
Can I make a prediction here?
All right.
You're about to tell me that some dumb redneck was like, get him off the field.
No, that would have been worse. This is actually not that bad. But like, there was an ambulance parked in behind the end zone over at this Laley Field where they're playing, the whole time. So it's like clearly because of the athletic commission rules, you have to have that. But like, no one was emerging. So eventually, everyone's just like screaming at the EMTs to be like, this is clearly a situation where you need to come over. And then all of a sudden, like the door opens, and this guy gets out, and he's 3 of me. I'm a big boy. This guy's like no joke. Like he's just the most spherical man I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the man must weigh 400 pounds. I'm not kidding. He gets out and walks as slowly as possible. Like, now there's no sense of urgency. For all intents and purposes, this young man could be losing his life as we speak. And he's just sauntering. Halfway, he realizes he forgot his bag. And has to go back and get it. And then eventually makes it out there. And what he's going to do out there, I mean, I don't know.
Consume
white face.
Like I said, luckily the person in question was not seriously injured. It was like
hopefully it wasn't.
So you're saying that that's the kind of guy that we need on call here to deal with sick burns?
Yes, because it can't be any worse than we don't need the cream of the crop here. We can sail.
Keep him out of duty.
Well, if he's here, he's not on patrol somewhere being relied on by the greater populace. Plus, we have moon pies here available to shop, so he's probably going to be very interested in this
Only living down there, I think.
Position. Hey, remember that giveaway we do every week? We're doing it again this week, so there's 102 of you watching now, so that means there's 103. Just talking about it, got somebody else to watch. This week we are giving away a play set of FNM promo foil acidic slime. So head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. There'll be a post I just made. It says something to the effect of, get this, we're giving away FNM promo foil acidic slimes. like, comment, share it on your stream. That's 4 separate ways to enter. It also shows up on my Twitter account, @ZachSellsMagic, so retweet there. 4 separate ways to enter each week, and we'll make the drawing next week. But remember, you have to be following me on Twitter, and you have to like our Facebook page. If I draw your name and you're not doing either of those, then you are ineligible, and I pick another name. That's a very subtle way of me trying to encourage you to like and follow me on Twitter.
So
I am very close to both 700 Facebook likes and 500 Twitter followers.
And when you get 700 Facebook likes, an angel gets wings or something like that?
Yeah, no, they doesn't. I just get a mild sense of self-worth that fades very quickly.
You can sleep well at night.
Not even that, because I don't go to bed early enough. I stay up way too late. Way too late. That's just a non sequitur. That's what I'm tell you. I don't want to bring semantics into this. It's going to get real personal. But yeah, go over there. We're giving away some other stuff. This week we'll be drawing for last week's contest a playset of foil grizzly salvage. We've also got this foil fiend hunter that Cliff Markham donated that I was loaning to someone for the tournament that then didn't need it. We've also got a Verasco, we've got a Niv Mizzet, we've got a couple Slaughter Games, a foil pithing needle, and then some really cool 3D tokens that one of the guys here at the shop that doesn't even play Magic, Tim Hyatt, he had done some 3D alters on some tokens. One is a zombie and one is a wolf, I believe. So we'll be giving those out. And then also remember, Tim is very talented. They're also pretty cool. Also remember, September 13th, so about 4 weeks from now, we'll be celebrating the 1 month anniversary of the stream.
1 year anniversary.
1 year is correct. I said month, I meant year. Got lawyered back here, but
I gotta throw some lightning bolts back at you.
But the 1 month anniversary, or the 1 year anniversary of the stream. So we're going to try and first of all, for all those available, but you're going away for school, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This Monday.
You could make a surprise cameo appearance.
But you're more than welcome. I did not want you to make that trip exclusively because of this. But we're going to try and pack the store first of all. But then we've got a lot of cool giveaways to give away as part of the 1 year anniversary.
I mean, there's going to be some 12-cost sorcerers and pharaohs that come play.
I'm trying to get the playmats sorted out by then. I've also got some other stuff in the works that I want to try to get done. We've got there's one thing that's pretty interesting to give away. I don't have a picture of it here, but actually Alterus, Jacqueline Foglia, who I linked to on our Facebook page earlier, she also had a small snippet on one of the Star City Games open. They did like a little spot on her. She sent me a full art John Avon Zendikar forest that had been altered to give away.
That's pretty cool.
So we'll be giving that away as part of that too. So there should be a lot of cool stuff. That is on September 13th. So if you've only watched this once before and you're only going to watch it once again, you should probably watch on September the 13th. We used to have, there's a period of time where we used to get about 200 people average for the stream. And that, I think, probably coincided with the popularity of Magic. Right now, an M14 standard is kind of boring, so I think it's just in general down. But I would love nothing more than to break some number records-wise on the 13th.
Well, I think I saw we were up to like 125 today.
Yeah, we'll get there. It starts slow and then gets...
Nothing can go bad on a Friday the 13th in September, right?
So October.
I do have one cool thing that I'll go ahead and mention because I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does, it'd be pretty cool. If you'll remember, one of the first things we ever did on the stream, following States last year, we had a Star City Games Invitational Qualifier at CharCon, which is the local gaming convention here in Charleston. And there was a horror artist there named Billy Tackett. Do you remember that? None of you were there. You may have been at CharCon, but not participating in the thing. But Billy Tackett is the guy. He does horror art. He is the guy who did the art for the zombie Uncle Sam, I Want You. Mm-hmm. That's Billy Tackett. He was there, and he had done some playmats that were for sale or they were raffling off or whatever. So I'm going to try and get in touch with him so that we'll give it away on the anniversary, but then I'll pick it up. I'll try to see if we can arrange it when if he's coming to CharCon. But to have him do some kind of stream-themed zombie art playmat and give that away.
Maybe like a
Turn
little,
you into a zombie.
Maybe a little, either that.
That little face right there, just turn that into a zombie.
Yeah.
Zombie beard.
Yeah, either Zach Sells Magic
Or just
logo,
like an arm
or-
hanging out your beard.
either that or rock, paper, scissors, zombified or something. That's all theoretical, but that should be fun.
go.